Welcome back, friends. Today we'll be sampling homemade empanadas and making G's take on chimichurri in our Harry Cooper Supply kitchen. So yesterday, G and I spent the afternoon making empanadas, making empanadas. And we made a short video to show you how we made them. It was a lot more intense than I expected.
I must say, I did get a very frantic and hectic text from Maddie.
I've had a few meltdowns today, but just please like the empanadas that I bring. So
I will love them, I'm sure.
Yes, I'm gonna talk you through this video. So you'll start with 4 cups of flour, a whole stick of butter melted, unsalted, a cup of water, a teaspoon of salt, and 4 egg yolks. Yes, and if you get a little bit of the egg, anyways, mix it all together, then you're gonna knead it really nicely until it's good consistency, it's not sticking, and it's a nice little ball of dough. Then you cover with a towel and let it sit in the fridge, chill for about 30 minutes. And during that time, I went ahead, I got pre-cooked turkey sausage, but I just reheated it just for good measure. And then after that, the dough came out. G made little, hand-rolled balls. And then that you use on a floured surface. You roll out into about a circular hand-sized, base to the empanada. There you go, see that? So then, fill it. I heard like 2 to 3 tablespoons because you don't want to overstuff them. You also don't want to understuff. So I did about a tablespoon of meat and then just like a little handful of cheddar cheese. Depending on what kind of empanadas you want to make, you'll want to look up what cheeses you want. But you roll in the sides. Key to that, wet the sides before you fold them. They stick much better. Then press down, and then you'll take a fork and just very close together, just put little indents there to kind of create that wavy outline. Crimp. Thank you, Jake. As you can see, mine didn't stick, so I had to rework it. This happened quite a bit yesterday, but we made it. So yeah, just double checking everything is tight. We're crimping, and making sure that they're good to go in the oven. Now we baked them, so we did put an egg wash over them, 400 degrees, 15 minutes. See those coming out. So you can see some of them got a little too big, like we might have overfilled them just a tad, and maybe put them in a little bit too long. So, and to be tasted on air in the end. So those were the ones we made. We made quite a few batches. So
awesome.
Let's get to the chimichurri. So do you want to read what your take on your chimichurri is?
So
quick question.
Yes.
How is this your take? What makes it yours?
Well, I found the recipe online back when I wanted to just have it for steak and stuff, and then I was like, you know what? Let's make it a little sweeter. Let's add a little bit of spice. So I made it my own. I added things, and now we're here.
Okay.
Now we're here.
I was just curious what made it G's.
Yes.
G-Money's.
G-Money's chimichurri. Yeah, we should TM coin that copyright.
Yep. Copyright.
Yep, copyright.
So what all is in your chimichurri?
2 teaspoons of olive oil.
2 tablespoons?
2 tablespoons, of olive oil. 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter. 2 tablespoons of honey. 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. 3 cloves of garlic, minced. 1 teaspoon of dried oregano. 1 teaspoon of dried basil. Salt and pepper to taste. 2 tablespoons of fresh parsley, chopped, very finely chopped.
Okay, is that what I'm doing?
That's what you're going to be doing.
I'm on it,
because you're good at chopping, Jeremy.
I just wanted chopping.
You're on the chopping block.
1 tablespoon of chili powder. I like to use tahini, so for most, tahini is really good on this. And then sometimes I do a little bit of steak seasoning just to give it a little extra flavor. Ooh. And lemon juice.
Okay.
Lemon juice to taste.
Yes. Okay.
How much of this do I need again?
So it's about 2 tablespoons of dried parsley. I'm going to go ahead and get the 2 tablespoons of butter melted then, because we'll be making our chimichurri in here.
Do I need to help you with this?
There you go.
Oh, thank you. I just want to make sure. Fresh. There we go. Okay.
It just goes down here.
Oh, okay.
They're going to the basement to use the microwave.
Dun, dun,
I always
dun.
joke.
Wow, we are married. Jesus.
Going to the basement. Oh, goodness.
Okay. Cool. And then I'm going to set aside another tablespoon of butter to coat our empanadas once we get to that step. But for now.
And just a heads up, this is, I've actually made this just to marinate meat. I've marinated meat with it. I've marinated chicken with it. I usually, when I make it, I have to make extra batches because I use a lot of it to marinate and people want to dip in it. So I'm like, all right, so I got to make a batch for that and a batch for dipping.
Oh, that's great.
But it's amazing. And the flavor in chicken gets sucked in.
I may have mentioned this in the office or on air, but our friend Ashley She is obsessed with his chimichurri. She would just put it on bread and eat it that way, nothing else.
Oh.
She really loved it. I don't know.
Well, we've learned on the show, Maddie and I have recently learned that it does make a difference to marinate the chicken breasts overnight before you cook it. It's so tender.
Yes.
I'm
the
a
brine.
believer.
We need
The
a brine again.
The
We need a
brining.
Okay, perfect. That's
The
looking
brining is
good.
real, guys.
All right. This is melted butter. We'll get that going. Okay.
Whisk,
So
whisk,
then whisk. All right, careful. That's hot.
One second.
So I'll go ahead and get ready with.
Geraldo, what would happen if I just had salted butter? Is it okay if I use salted butter? Because I just love salt.
I mean, you just got to be careful how you
okay.
salt
Oh,
your-
like not over
not
seasoning it.
Not over salted, yeah.
I
One
gotcha.
tablespoon.
1 tablespoon.
2 tablespoons.
And
I'll
you
be
know
sure-
what? This isn't like a make or break type of recipe. Like you can actually, if you want to make more, then add more of every single thing. Like an extra teaspoon of
Yeah.
X, Y, and Z, and
So if like you want it sweeter, you want it
yeah,
spicy, you could add different
you
things.
can change it up if you
Okay.
want the consistency more runny, or like.
I want to say too, and producer Jake will have to remind me. I want to say we've tried to attempt, or we have made a chimichurri sauce on the show before in the past. Twice, he just said yes, but I don't.
the honey.
Geraldo, I don't remember.
The honey comes out.
The honey it takes forever.
Yeah. So go ahead. You can squeeze the honey as much as you need.
You want to heat it up a little bit?
Oh,
No.
Do you guys have cute names for each other like honey? Or
G-Money? G-Money, honey?
G-Money, honey.
Okay.
Okay, guys, so here's what's going to happen. We're going to keep working on this. We're going to perfect it. We're going to have the empanadas with the sauce coming up. We're going to heat them back up. Look, that honey.
I know, honey. Okay.
G-Money, honey. Don't go anywhere. So much more fun on Ozarks Fox AM after this.